80% of men over the age of 55 have some degree of arterial stiffness, and most don't know it. Your arteries are losing their flexibility right now, getting a little stiffer, a little narrower, a little less able to get blood where your body needs it every day. Then you wake up in the morning and your feet feel cold, as if the blood just can't get there. You walk up a flight of stairs and your heart races faster than it should. At night, your legs feel heavy, as if you're carrying sandbags, and in private, what used to be automatic now requires effort. It's not that you're aging irreparably. It's just that your arteries are silently stiffening and no one has explained to you what you can do about it. But here's where the story gets interesting. Recent research shows that there's a combination of two ordinary foods so common that you probably have them in your kitchen right now that activate the different signaling pathways in your body. Two pathways that work together to relax your artery walls from the inside out. I'm talking about garlic and eggs. And what science has discovered about how they work together is going to change the way you eat breakfast starting tomorrow. I'm Carmen Navarro. For over 20 years, I've been researching and sharing scientific studies on men's health to help men make informed decisions with reasons. What I found time and time again is that the most powerful solutions for circulation aren't found in the most expensive pharmaceuticals. They're in the clever combinations of foods and aid that science is rediscovering. And today I'm going to explain one of the most promising ones. Today I'm going to show you three things. First, why does garlic activate your body's vasodilator machinery? Second, because eggs provide the raw materials this machinery needs. And third, because together they create something that they can't do separately. A synergy that science is documenting with measurable results. But before we talk about the combination, I need you to understand what's happening to your arteries, because without this foundation, nothing that comes next makes sense. Imagine that your arteries are garden hoses. When you were young, those hoses were flexible, stretchy, expanding and contracting with every beat of your heart. Water, your blood, flowed unhindered. It reached every corner of your body, your toes, your brain, your muscles, your reproductive organs, But over the years, something has changed. Limescale has built up on the walls of those hoses. They've hardened, narrowed, and the water just doesn't flow like it used to. That limescale has a name in your body. It's called arterial stiffness, and after age 50, it speeds up production of nitric oxide, the natural vasodilator your body produces to keep your arteries relaxed and open, can drop by as much as 75% by age 70. Every year that you don't take action is a year of silent stiffening. What science does know is that there are two key factors in reversing this process. One is activating the signaling pathways that tell your arteries to relax. The other is providing your body with the raw materials to produce natural vasodilators. Garlic does the first, egg does the second, and that's why their combination has a potential that neither of them has on their own. So let's take it one step at a time. Let me first explain what garlic does to your body and why the way you prepare it completely changes its effect. Let's start with garlic, and I want you to forget everything you think you know about it. I'm not talking about a condiment. I'm talking about one of the most studied substances in the history of cardiovascular medicine. When you crush, chop, or mash a raw garlic clove, an enzymatic reaction is activated. The enzyme converts a compound called allicin into allicin. Allicin is an organosulfur compound. It's responsible for garlic's characteristic odor, but it's also primarily responsible for its cardiovascular properties. Allicin and its derivatives, polysulfide CO, such as the acetyl disulfide and disulfide antil, act on two signaling pathways that are crucial to the health of your arteries. The first is the nitric oxide pathway. Compounds in garlic an enzyme called endothelial non-sulfonic acid nitric oxide. The name is long, but what it does is simple. It produces nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the molecule that tells the walls of your arteries to relax and dilate. It's the chemical message that says, open up, let the blood flow. The clinical trial published in Phytotherapy Research showed that aged garlic extract improved endothelial function by 44% in men with coronary artery disease, 44%. It improved flow-mediated dilation. The second pathway is hydrogen sulfide. The polysulfides in garlic generate this signaling gas that acts synergistically with nitric oxide to relax vascular smooth muscle. Studies published in the Integrated Blood Pressure Control Journal show that garlic acts through both pathways at the same time, which would explain its ability to reduce both systolic and diastolic blood pressure in people with hypertension. Numbers matter. A meta-analysis published in Frontiers Nutrition in 2025 found that garlic extract was most effective at lowering blood pressure in individuals in their 50s and 60s in your age range. A study of 88 hypertensive patients showed that 1.2 grams per day of aged garlic extract for 12 weeks reduced systolic blood pressure by measures of arterial stiffness and improved measures of arterial stiffness. And another controlled trial showed that aged extract improved arterial elasticity by 21.6%. Garlic works, and the science backs it up. But here's the problem. Garlic activates signaling pathways, sending the order to relax the arteries. But the production of nitric oxide depends on the availability of raw materials. It requires an amino acid called arginine and certain cofactors such as vitamins B6, B12, and folate. Without those ingredients, the garlic signals are reaching a factory floor. It's like starting a car engine that's out of gas. The engine roars, but it doesn't get you anywhere. In addition, the compounds in garlic are metabolized and excreted quickly. Its action is powerful, but brief. It needs to be supplemented. And this is exactly where the second ingredient comes in, the one that will give garlic varillar what it's missing, equal. Try this combination for 7 days. A crushed garlic clove with a soft-boiled egg every morning, just 7 days. And come back to tell me how you felt. I want to read about your experience in the comments. I'll be here reading each one. Now let's talk about eggs. Because what this food brings to the equation is exactly what garlic needs to do its job. Eggs are one of the most complete foods there is. A single large egg contains 6 grams of high biological value protein, B vitamins including B6, B12, and folate, vitamin D, selenium, zinc, lutein, zeaxanthin, and most relevant to this combination, choline and arginine. Arginine is the amino acid that your body converts directly into nitric oxide. It's the precursor, the raw material, When you eat eggs, you're giving your endothelium the in and aligning of your arteries, exactly what it needs to produce the most powerful vasodilator in the body. Studies published in the Journal of Food Science confirm that eggs are a significant dietary source of arginine, a precursor to nitric oxide. But eggs don't stop there, The choline in eggs, one large egg provides 25% of your daily value. When choline is converted to betaine, and betaine acts as a methyl donor in a process that regulates homocysteine levels in your blood. This matters because elevated homocysteine levels are directly associated with endothelial damage and increasing cardiovascular risk. A study published in Scientific Reports showed that choline restored heart function, improved arterial function, and preserved endothelial structure in models of hypertension. And there's more. The selenium in eggs contributes to the antioxidant defense that protects nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals before it can do its job. The lutein and zeaxanthin in eggs are antioxidants that help fight the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. And that's key because oxidized LD is a major player in the formation of plaque in the arteries here. Now, I know what you're thinking, but eggs don't raise cholesterol, ma? It's a fair question. For decades, we were told that eggs were dangerous, but science has turned our corner. A randomized controlled trial published in the American Journal of Medicine showed that eating up to 4 eggs daily did not significantly increase the MAO levels or platelet reactivity in healthy adults. The researchers concluded that it's wiser to get choline from natural sources like eggs than from isolated supplements. A meta-analysis of 23 prospective studies found no association between moderate egg consumption and cardiovascular disease. And the American Heart Association has indicated that eating up to 2 eggs daily is acceptable in the context of a healthy diet. Eggs provide the building blocks of arginine, choline, antioxidants, and B vitamins, but they do have limitations when used alone. It has no compounds that directly activate vasodilator signaling pathways. It's like having gasoline without the engine. It needs a trigger that gets the nitric oxide and hydrogen sulfide production machinery going. And you know that trigger? It's garlic. When you combine garlic and eggs, something different happens in your body that neither one can do alone. And this is where the science gets really fascinating. The mechanism works in 4 steps. Let me explain it clearly. Step 1, garlic activates. The polysulfides in crushed garlic activate the endothelial stimulating enzyme nitric oxide, generating hydrogen sulfide. It opens 2 chemical gates that relax the smooth muscle in your arteries. The signals are on. The command is given, but something is missing. Step 2, egg delivers. The arginine in the egg provides the substrate that the enzyme needs to convert it into nitric oxide. Without arginine, that enzyme activated by garlic is running on empty. In fact, when it functions without sufficient substrate, it can generate superoxide instead of nitric oxide. It's a phenomenon that researchers call uncoupling. That is, without the raw material of the egg, garlic not only loses effectiveness, it can generate the opposite effect. Step 3, cross protection. The selenium, lutein, and zeaxanthin in eggs protect the newly produced nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals. At the same time, the antioxidants in garlic reduce the oxidative stress that damages the endothelium. It's a double layer of protection. Garlic and eggs not only produce vasodilation, they protect it. Step 4, cholesterol regulation. While the choline in eggs keeps homocysteine in check, preventing endothelial damage, the compounds in garlic reduce oxidized LDL cholesterol and platelet aggregation. 2 central factors in the progression of atherosclerosis. The information you are receiving is educational and is not a substitute for medical advice. If your symptoms persist, speak to a healthcare professional. Research published in the Integrate Blood Pressure Control Journal confirms that garlic's effectiveness in lowering blood pressure is dependent on the availability of cofactors such as vitamin B6, vitamin B, and folate. Precisely the nutrients that eggs naturally provide and eggs. This suggests that the cardiovascular response to garlic may be significantly improved when consumed in conjunction with foods rich in these B vitamins. A study published in PMC on nitroso-sulfide interaction demonstrated that hydrogen sulfide produced by garlic synergistically enhances arginine-derived nitric oxide-induced vascular relaxation in relaxation. That is, their combined effect exceeds their individual sum. Go back to the image of the hose. The garlic is the water softener that relaxes the walls and makes them flexible again. The egg is the clean, nutritious water flowing through them. Without the water softener, the water hits rigid walls. Without the water softener works on empty pipes. Together, they create a complete flow system. Now that you understand why, let me show you how a shekunya, because how you prepare this combination determines whether or not it works. The first step is the most important. Take 1 or 2 cloves of fresh garlic, crush or finely chop them, and now wait 10 minutes before doing anything else with them. Agit them. This step is essential. The enzyme halinase needs time to convert halin to allicin. If you cook the garlic immediately after chopping it, the heat inactivates the enzyme and you lose much of the cardiovascular benefit. 10 minutes is all you need. While the garlic is resting, prepare the egg. Cook it any way you like, soft-boiled, scrambled over, low heat, or in a light omelette. Ideally, a soft-boiled egg for 6 to 7 minutes. This way you preserve the maximum nutrients in the yolk. What you should avoid is frying at high temperatures with refined oils. Excess heat oxidizes fatty acids and can counteract the antioxidant benefits it makes. Once the 10 minutes have passed, add the crushed garlic to the cooked egg. If the taste of raw garlic is too strong for you, you can mix it with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. In addition to softening the flavor, olive oil improves the absorption of fat-soluble compounds. The ideal amount is 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic per day, equivalent to about 2 to 4 grams, together with 1 or 2 eggs. Both amounts are within current recommendations. The best time to eat is in the morning, at breakfast. Nitric oxide production and blood pressure regulation benefit from a morning boost. In addition, the acute vasodilatory effect of garlic has been documented within 15 to 25 minutes of ingestion. It is the perfect way to start the day. The ideal frequency is daily. Studies showing significant benefits used interventions of at least 4 to 12 weeks of regular consumption. It is not something that works if you do it once in a while. Consistency is key. Now, the precautions. If you take blood thinners such as guafran or heparin, garlic has antiplatelet properties, it says. Consult your doctor before significantly increasing your garlic intake. If taking blood pressure medication, garlic's blood pressure lowering effect may be additive. It's not necessarily a negative thing, but your doctor should know so they can adjust the dosage if necessary. And do not combine this practice with isolated choline supplements. It's been shown through studies that supplemental choline can lead to an increase in TMAO levels, unlike the naturally occurring choline in eggs. Okay, so now you know why. Now you know how. Now let me tell you what to expect, and I'm going to be completely honest with you because I'm not going to I'm going to give you the science. In the first 48 hours, the acute vasodilatory effect of garlic are detectable in studies within 15-30 minutes after ingestion. In the first few days, some men report a subtle feeling of increased warmth in the extremities and increased morning energy. This is not a placebo. It's nitric oxide doing its job, moida. In weeks 1 and 2, the improvement in endothelial function begins to take hold. A study with fermented garlic extract showed significant changes in arterial stiffness indicators after 2 weeks of regular consumption. Between weeks 4 and 8 is where clinical studies document measurable changes. Reduction in systolic blood pressure of 5 to 8 millimeters of mercury. Improvement in arterial elasticity of up to 21.6%. Progressive reduction in LDL cholesterol. After 3 months locals, the cumulative benefits are consolidated. The reduction in atheromatous lesions can reach between 5% and 18% with regular long-term consumption, according to studies reviewed by the WHO. What takes longer is the reversal of established plaque. That requires months to years of consistent habits. Don't expect immediate structural changes, but functional improvement how your legs feel, your energy, your circulation, can be noticed much sooner. Let me tell you Carlos' story. He is 62 years old, a retired businessman from Seville, active all his life, but since he stopped working, he began to notice things that had not happened to him before. His legs would fall asleep after sitting for more than an hour. When climbing the stairs at home, he would run out of breath halfway up the second flight, something he did not tell anyone. In private with his wife, things were not working as before. At his last checkup, the doctor told him that his blood pressure was a little high and that his cholesterol was borderline. He prescribed a statin and told him to walk more. Carlos complied, but 6 months later, his symptoms were still the same. One day, his brother-in-law, who had been taking crushed raw garlic with soft boiled egg every morning for months, told him that his blood pressure had improved in his last blood test. Carlos was skeptical. Garlic and egg, that's a country remedy. But his brother-in-law insisted, and Carlos decided to try it for a month. The first 2 weeks, Carlos didn't notice anything spectacular. Maybe his hands were a little warmer in the morning, maybe he had a little more energy after eating. By the 3rd week, something had changed. He could climb the stairs without stopping. His legs no longer went numb after a nap. He felt lighter, more present. At his next checkup, 3 months later, his blood pressure had dropped 7 points. His doctor asked him what had changed. Carlos doesn't say that the garlic and the egg cured him. He says that they gave his body something it needed and that no one had explained to him before. The raw materials and signals for his own arteries to do their job. Let's put together everything you've learned today. Today, you have discovered that garlic activates 2 signaling pathways, nitric oxide and hydrogen oxide weed, which tell your arteries to relax. Eggs, that eggs provide your body with the arginine, choline, selenium, and B vitamins that your endothelium needs to produce and protect that nitric oxide. And that together, these 2 foods create a synergy that science is documenting with measurable results. Imagine that in 7 days, you wake up and notice that your hands and feet are warmer in the morning, that the tingling sensation in your legs has diminished, that something subtle has changed. Now imagine that 30 days have passed. Climbing stairs is no longer as difficult. Your mid-morning energy has returned. Your body feels lighter, more awake, and in 90 days, you are sitting in front of your doctor. It looks at your numbers. It looks at you and it says, what's changed? Your numbers have improved. I'm not promising miracles. I'm promising science. And I promise you that your body is designed to respond when you give it what it needs. Share this video with someone who has high blood pressure or circulation issues. You need to know this. Sometimes the right information at the right time can change a life. You spent your life taking care of everyone else. Now it's time to take care of yourself. Until next time, I'm Carmen Navarro. Stay informed. Stay vital. Your best years are not behind you. They can start now. Important note, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The studies cited are general in nature and do not constitute personalized advice. Always consult your physician before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you are taking blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or other drugs. Everybody is different and individual results may vary.